what I want to say is, through growing up, what I've discovered is that this world is a very vast, very wonderful and beautiful one, and there are so many things to discover, but the most important journey I think all of us will go through is the journey in ourselves, to find our truth, to find who we are and what makes us happy.
Ladies, gentlemen, this is another video of Daniel and Tweety. And today, what are we doing?
We are going to make homemade pizza.
Homemade pizza. So, Daniel has been pushing for this idea for so long. Weeks. And we already have all the ingredients pretty much. We just watched the videos, so we're just gonna do it finally.
Yeah.
I am really sleepy right now, but it's like what?
It's evening. It's like
6:58. I'm already sleepy. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But anyway, so
we're gonna make some dough first. First, you gotta make dough.
Right.
Pizza has dough in it. That's what it is.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering what that is in the back, that bow, that's what we had during our wedding.
Yes.
They were the chair decorations. So we incorporated some of our wedding decor in our house just because, it's a good reminder. And on the table here, it's kind of messy, but where is it? Yeah, we have our unity candle, this and this too, this one.
Yeah, these were tall before, and they were fancier. And, this fancy, look at this thing. It's got drips on it, but if you'll see, it's got these ornate designs on it. Very cool.
Yeah, Daniel picked them out. He has a really good sense of style and fashion. So anyway, we are gonna get started.
Basically, there's several parts to the dough, but if we wrote them down, then we could read them.
Yeah, and we did write them down. So
we got a pizza recipe.
Typically, you're supposed to let them chill for a day,
24 hours.
but we're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
we're just gonna do our thing and see how it works because we are hungry and next time we'll do it the right way.
Okay, this is the real deal. We're hungry people. We want to have some food, and it's time to get. If you're gonna make dough, you have to have water. It's like the main ingredient. 2.5 cups of warm water. A recipe that we got from somebody. They mentioned something like having 5 milliliters, rather a teaspoon. So we'll get our trusty teaspoon out. And
oh, babe, you wrote so well. Like the name, the pizza dough, it looks really cool. So what are you doing now?
Okay, so now I am rescuing the rest, which would be myself. So 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Just 1 teaspoon. I have more than a teaspoon in this packet. So if you think just throw a packet in there, that's not probably necessary for this recipe. So you're putting it in there, and you're supposed to mix it. You're supposed to add sugar. So you want to have a tablespoon, something, a tablespoon of sugar. Now we don't even keep regular granulated white bleached sugar around here. We always have.
Oh, it's down there, the cabinets.
So,
yeah,
and we use the Sagari with the...
Did y'all hear that? He said that in Swahili.
Yes, Sagari is delicious.
Just a minute, I want to show them what I have done here. This is something that was inspired by a friend of mine. She's also married to an American, and she told me that she labels her stuff in Swahili, so that says mchele.
Yeah. So I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, always thinking Swahili was such an interesting language, but then now that I know someone that speaks Swahili, I can learn it. She's been helping me with these cool little labels. And
Yeah. Even at the back there, I don't want to lift them up because it's like so much work. Ungai ugali, that one says tambi. Yeah,
This
so
is gonna be, it's going to be African American pizza, I say, because it's got, you know, it's got some special touches to it. And brown sugar mixed in the yeast. There are bubbles showing. That means the yeast is doing its thing. Got bubbles and bubbles and bubbles. Now, we're going to give it a couple minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, and there should be more bubbles showing up. So, yeah, I mixed the sugar, warm water, and yeast, 2.5 cups.
so maybe now we can go to the mixing of the flour.
Exactly. So we'll let the yeast wake up for a while. They can just have their little yeast hang out, and we're gonna open up now. Okay, all you guys that go to Winco, you know they have like probably everything and more, and they have a pizza flour. So we got some of that, but we've also heard that you should use bread flour. This is unbleached because who wants bleach in their food? It's white bread flour. Now, it's not like whole grain or whatever, but we've heard that bread flour is better because there's more protein, which makes it like sticky, or it makes it like, I don't know, chewier. It's more substance. So in this recipe, it calls for 5 cups. Now,
And that's to make 4 pizzas.
yeah, so yeah, that'll make 4 pizzas. And if you're gonna do all this work, you might as well set some aside for the next time you want pizza.
Right.
Got pizza flour. See how many cups we got out of that sundry. They had all these different types of stuff you can get scoops of at Winco. It's uncommon.
Yeah, I remember when I was new, like in America, and I went to Winco. Actually, most of the stores were just like gigantic to me, and I was just so impressed. I almost like took videos in Winco.
She's like, wow, they won't even believe me. Like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, but then now I know it would be lame to do that. But I feel like, you know, for people who don't live in America, they would be interested to see how it is, especially like how you can measure out your own things. Like they have this whole section that has cereals, and you can just scoop it out into a bag and.
Yeah, that's a sundry. They have all the different stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so a tablespoon of salt. That is a lot of salt. A lot. So, and this is something that I didn't see in that video, but I know this is part of what you're supposed to do. Is you add it to your flour. And so our salt, which we have some here, we will get a big old heaping amount of it. Okay. Spilled some salt. And, you know,
I saw that.
You saw it? You're supposed to throw it over your shoulder or something? Isn't that a fun one?
Oh, is that like a myth?
Yeah, it's some funny old tale. So we're going to just kind of make sure that the flour has like saltiness. All the thing it does is a lump of salt. It's spread out so that the whole thing is a little bit salty.
So I would actually like to make a correction. When we said earlier that we are not gonna do the whole putting the dough in the fridge for 24 hours, that's not.
We'll put some.
Yeah, we'll put some because we have like enough dough to make 3 pizzas or 4.
Extra, yeah.
So the one that we will eat today, we will not do that. But then the others, we will do that and just see the difference.
Okay. So I'm gonna just do this because this ring is precious to me and I don't want it to be lost.
Okay, ring.
I
want to show them.
I'm gonna show them. This is fabulous. These amazing designs, and I was just like amazed when I saw it, and we decided that's the one.
Yeah, because it kind of
Goes
matches.
with the leafy sort of vine design on hers, and we love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I can smell the yeast. I smell it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's got bubbles all around. It's doing the thing, it's churning up in there. You see bubbles are like forming, they're coming up in towards the top. And Yeah, it's like a little brew there. So I've gotten some flour. Probably will even need more than that, but just some extra because I'm going to want to add to it when we get this big dough ball. It's going to be sticky, and that's the other reason I took my ring off, because the dough will get sticky. So you're just going to have to go. Part of the way to help that is to use some olive oil at some point, so that you can even have, we have the spray, like if I have olive oil in my hands will be oily. They won't like stick quite as bad. So anyway, we've got our flour mixed with some salt. We're going by the recipe. This guy says 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So by getting a tablespoon of olive oil, we don't even have olive oil in a container for some reason. Okay, so like this.
Because it's expensive.
Huh? I bought this thing like about a year ago almost.
But that's different. It's a spray.
Yeah, this is extra virgin olive oil, but it's in a spray can, so you can just shoot it onto your pan. I think it's cool. But you know, today we're just supposed to put some in the with the water. I mean with the whole thing. We have olive oil in it.
It's called improvising, friends.
That's improvisation, people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to add this mix. It's been a couple of minutes, and we're going to do the mixing.
And what we failed to mention at the beginning is that we are making a pepperoni pizza. We already have the pepperoni right here. Where did we get this, babe? Do you remember?
Oh, probably Winco.
Really? Maybe, yeah.
Imagine that's where we got it. Winco's. When we got the idea for the pizza, I think it was at Winco, and that's where we bought that pizza flour. But then we watched a video like, hey, how are we gonna make this? And sure enough,
I'm gonna come to this side
flour.
because our table is so messy.
Do you want to show
There's so much paperwork. It's annoying.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you are supposed to let this rise for like half an hour. I am gonna put a bunch of flour on. It seems like it's a little bit too sticky, but I want there to be like a layer of flouriness that will not be too stuck. And because I'm going to have to grab it out of this bowl after it's done rising. That's just, as far as I learned, was that it's supposed to stay rather like warm, so it will rise properly. And I'm going to just get this a little bit of a cleanup jar, just get some of that back and make sure that the dough stays with the dough. And I'm going to let this, now that I've combined, I'm going to let it rest. And then we'll come back and we'll do some kneading.